Alright everyone, it's Knockout Psycho. This time I'm going over a walkthrough of the Tyrant Mine Seasonal. We're going to get started with getting out at spawn, same thing as the Suck and Sell video. For Tyrant Mine, all 4 javelins are the exact same. If you're using a Colossus or have a teammate who's using a Colossus, just come over in this corner, open your shield, push behind them, keep holding it. Once they get pulled down into the water, they're good. You can move on to the next person. Now I'm going to show what it looks like from the other perspective. I'm in a Colossus and I'm being pushed out by a Colossus. You can get out this way with all 4 javelins, doesn't matter. Just spam jump fly till you're facing down. Once you get pulled into the water, I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like to do this incorrectly. If you notice, I was still swimming down. You don't want to swim down. Face south, you'll see a little wall in front of you. You want to just barely slide underneath that wall and then lift straight up on the right stick, or aim straight up. Alright, so demonstrating getting out again. I'm just spamming jump fly. I'm going to turn south. See this small little rock, this wall right here, swim under it and point up. Keep pointing up, and boom, you'll just pop right through. Okay, we're going to switch views here. Once you come across this way, just come out above this water, turn to the right towards this middle edge. You'll see a rock down here. You just slide right along the rock, and this will take you to 3rd event door so that we can get the golds. Okay, so we landed at 3rd event door. If you have 2 teammates, one person can go through that door, which we'll show here in a little bit. The other one can turn around, jump into the water, swim up high. You don't want to get the orb trail down there. We're just going this direction to get the gold and the puzzle. Okay, so in this case, we got the good gold spot, which is important. We'll go over what to do if you get the bad spot after we do the puzzle. I'll point to it here. It's just down here at the end. You cannot get this gold or the global timer will start. So for the puzzle, 5 pieces. This is known as the most difficult puzzle in the game just because there's no real pattern to it, other than the top is almost always a cross or a square. But yeah, just pick up the pieces, try different orders. Usually if you can get 3 out of 5, or if you can get 0 out of 5, it makes it really easy to complete the puzzle. Okay, so as you can see, I got 5 out of 5. This is the free 20,000 score. It's the same thing on every seasonal. There's one puzzle in every seasonal. It gives you a flat 20k. Alright, and then here's this other gold spot I was talking about. I'm just going to point down here at it. If that is the spot that the gold is in, then a teammate should stand right here and wait until everybody else is done with the prep. And then once it's time to start, you can take off, get the gold, respawn. It'll take you to the spawn, and then you can fly into 1st event as normal. Alright, so we're swimming back up to 3rd event door. There's 2 golds in this room. One is stationary. It never moves. It's always in this spot. Just comes straight across. It's right here every time. It never moves. Second one has 3 different locations. Come down a little bit and look straight up. I'm demonstrating a couple of the different spots that it can be in. But basically, you just want to come down here, look up, hover around till you find it. One other thing, there's 5 Grabbit locations in here. Here's the first spot right underneath the bridge leading up to the platform. Second one's on this rock in the middle. And then there's 1 location in each tunnel. This is right tunnel. Once you come down here, just look in these little water pools on the left and the right side. Do this for every tunnel till you find the Grabbit. Okay, so I'm looking up high in here. This is the middle tunnel. This one's a little bit different. It spawns up there on the right side. We didn't get it there, which means it must be in the last spot, which is going to be in the pools in the left tunnel. Okay, so there's our Grabbit statue, and this is 3rd Grabbit statue. So we're still in left tunnel. Come up here, fly up. This small little hole right here you can squeeze through. Turn east. We're going to fly straight out this way. And then we're going to gradually turn to our right. Facing the south. Come all the way down over this edge. And then go a little bit extra past this edge. And just go straight down. Okay, so this is going to take us down to where the Grabbit would spawn. This is the last gold orb that we're going to get. Here's the first spot. We got lucky. It spawned right here next to us. When you're doing the prep, you can kill a couple of these scorpions right here, just because they're going to spawn anyways, so you might as well kill them. Okay, and then I'll show you the other 2 locations that this gold can spawn in. So from the bridge, fly under the orb trail. You don't want to get this now, because they're all green. If you come up here on the right, this is the 2nd spot right here on the ledge. And then this last spot is all the way by the boss. And also, when we get to it later, when we review going back for orb trails, there's also a red crate that can spawn all the way down here as well. Okay, this is the last spot right here. Okay, so going back to the bridge, I'm going to show you generally what you can do for high score runs, but also just general knowledge, how to get back out of this section without having to respawn. There's 2 different jumps over here that you can use, but one of them is a little easier in my opinion. So come all the way down here by the exit door of 3rd event, which is also where the 4th Grabbit statue's at. Fly up towards this hole, do a melee jump, melee dash, and fly. And then you're out. I'll show it again. I did a melee dash here, and now you can see what it looks like when you get stuck. If you get stuck, you just have to respawn. It'll take you back to the beginning. And then, of course, if you're solo, then you'll have to get back out without a teammate pushing you. And if you have a squad, then they're going to have to push you back out again. And if and when you use that jump, if you get out, you'll pretty much know where you're at. You're kind of close to first. So I respawned back. I flew against this right wall. I got stuck by aiming my gun. Then I timed my jump and flight down into the water. I'm facing south. There's the little wall. Gonna peek under it. Pointing straight up. Bouncing my head. And then it should just pop me right through. In this case, I'm hovering, so I need to try again. And then it pops me through. Okay, now this is the prep for second event. We're going to come all the way down here. And you'll see the colors change a little bit. It'll get really bright. That's how you'll know that you're going in the right direction to get the second event. So face north. You're going to see this black wall right here, which you can fly through. It's just part of the game structure. You can fly straight through it. Come down over to this corner, and you can just jump off the edge, and it'll pull you into second event. Okay, so once you get in here, we're going to turn backwards so that we can go get second Grabbit and the last gold that we need for prep. Here's one Grabbit spot. It can spawn up here on this little grass rock. Second one is up in this little hole, kind of like how it is in third event. Okay, and we're kind of doing these two things at the same time. This is the first gold spot. Second gold spot is where ours is at. Okay, and this is the third gold spot. It can spawn right back here. Okay, then third Grabbit position, which is where ours is, right here in the middle. It's really easy to miss this one because it kind of blends in. But just always check this one. Fourth Grabbit position can spawn up here on these little rocks. And then this last one is extremely rare. You'll almost never see this one spawn here, but you still need to know it. It hides down inside of these little spider webs, and it's really difficult to find. But as long as you know to look over there, you'll be okay. Okay, then we're going to come across. We're going to get 2 red orbs in advance. You want to hover next to these. Don't pass them or you'll accidentally start the global timer. So for the second one, I'm going to come all the way out wide. And I'm going to turn real close, hover. I'm going to get up close to it, and then I'm going to back off. Now I'm going to show you where second gold can be. Here's one location straight across from you. Keep in mind you do not want to get that gold until your teammates are ready to start. If you get it early, the global timer is going to start, right? So it's all similar to Sunken Cell. You want to wait until everybody's ready and then take off. And then in our case, there's where second gold is. Okay, so going back to the beginning, I'm going to demonstrate what one of your teammates does at the start. So we're at the beginning. I took off. Right there on that left corner was the first gold multiplier. I'm coming straight into first event. I'm going to go hard left. There's 3 Grabbit spots on the bottom that I need to look for. Here's one. Can spawn up here. Obviously, we're on the dark map right now, so it's a little difficult to see, but there is one there. Second one is on the left wall, which in our case is where it is. Still, it can be difficult to see. Just look for the red eyes. Okay, and then third spot down low is kind of in between. It's not really down low or up top, but it can be up here in these little pools. So you see this water pool here. That's not where it spawns, but just find the pools, and the Grabbit's going to be up on here in these pools. Okay, and then third gold location for second gold. can be right here. So I showed you the first two a minute ago. This is the third spot. Okay, and that's the gold that you have to get after you start the global timer. Okay, last two Grabbit locations. There's two up top. One can be on this right side wall. Just look for the red eyes. Same thing as the bottom. Okay, and then the last spot is right down here going towards second event on these rocks. Alright, now I'm going to show you the beginning of prep. I'm going to do the prep for second event. One of my teammates is going to do puzzle and the gold next to it. One teammate's going to wait at the beginning. And one teammate is getting the 2 golds and grab it in third event, as well as going to the very end to get the last gold and kill the Grabbit. So we're going to demonstrate what it looks like to do the entire prep as a team. Each person on my team has a responsibility on the parts that I've already shown you. And then after we do all the prep, I'm going to show you what it looks like to kill Grabbit early, which you do have to do if you want to go for the unlimited runs. Okay, so as you just saw, I came in the second event. I started looking for my Grabbit. It was right there. I destroyed it. I got my gold. Now I'm going to go back towards first event. I'm going to prep those 2 red orbs, and then I'm going to wait for my team. Alright, so to kill the Grabbit, this is switching perspectives. The guy who jumps to the end gets the gold multiplier. One teammate has already gotten second Grabbit statue. One teammate has already gotten third Grabbit statue. And then the person who got second Grabbit statue can use a sniper to try and look into first event to find the first Grabbit statue. Now, if it spawns down low in one of the 3 bottom spots, you're not going to be able to do this. So you would have to restart. Try again until you get the Grabbit up top so that person can kill them in advance. And again, this is just for the unlimited run. You would never want to kill the Grabbit early unless you're doing an unlimited and you're going for a high score. Okay, so you can kill some of the scorpions if they spawn. Same thing as Sunken Cell. Once he spawns, just be careful. You don't want to get the orb trail early. Just kill the Grabbit as fast as you can. Alright, so now Grabbit's dead, and I'm going to show a successful jump of the one that I showed earlier so that you can get back to second event. So you go all the way back to this door. Okay, you can do a melee jump or a melee fly, whatever you want to do to get through this door. So you look up to the left, do the melee dash, melee fly, kind of jump through. Okay, we're facing south, turn all the way around, turn north, come over this edge. You just keep going this general direction until it drops off. And then if you notice, it's going to look really similar to what we saw earlier when the bright light pops up, and that's how you know you're going in the correct direction. Alright, so if you look off to your left, you can kind of see it looks the exact same as the one that I showed a minute ago for the person who does second area prep. So puzzle's done. Grabbit is killed. We're at 7x. And for the unlimited runs, now is when you would begin the pre-timer farm. So you can farm at 7x for as long as you like. To go for the world record, you would need to sit here and farm for at least 2.5 hours. And across from us in first event, there are legendary hunters, There are elite hunters, there are elite enforcers, and there are regular and elite scar scrappers. So generally, if you're looking for build advice here, if you're using a ranger, you want to be a full combo ranger with a sniper. If you're a Colossus, it's an extremely weird build, mostly because the Colossus can't hover for long enough, and combo blast can be an issue because it's a lot less damage than a combo ranger. But basically the general idea is kill some of the adds, get the gates open, which spawns more enemies, and start killing. Now obviously, if you're gonna want to do this for a long time, the only 2 good weeks to do this are if you have the thruster life inversion or the sniper inversion, because those are the only 2 inversions that are actually helping you for this type of farm. And then of course, to speed up things, you want to focus on hunters and enforcers because they give you a lot more score than the regular scar scrappers do. Okay, and then where I'm showing where I'm hovering at is right next to where that red orb is. This is the perspective of TMC and a ranger. The red orb is as close as you can get without starting the global timer. And if you start the global timer, the farm's a bust. Like you can't continue. Okay, you can kind of see the red orb out there. It's kind of down low. Right, you'll see he'll come out here, come up a little bit, and then just hover. Right, and just resume. You go back and forth, as long as you want, up to 2.5 hours or so, 2 hours, 40 minutes or so. And yeah, you can go up to almost 1 million score this way. Okay, so again, I'm just featuring this clip so that you can see kind of how it works. We've got TMC, he's using his sniper. He's comboing with Relentless Pursuit. He's got Elemental Ops on so that he can prime with Acid, plus the sniper primes with Ice. And we just go back and forth against this rock and repeat the cycle over and over again. Okay, you can see he went after the hunters first. Those 2 are legendary hunters. And yeah, that's about all there is to it. Okay, so once you're done farming, you have one teammate who respawns back to the beginning so that he's in position to get the first gold. One teammate went back to the Grabbit area so that the orb trails won't break. And then 2 can wait out where I was at, or 1 can wait out and 2 can go back to spawn. Doesn't matter, right? So I got the second gold and I got the 3rd red orb, which was there on the right side from spawn perspective. I'm coming up top. I'm gonna okay, and an important feature of this too is that the teammate who was at the very beginning, they need to be the ones that take off first. For some reason, if the person who's waiting out in second event, which in this particular clip was me, takes off first, sometimes it will prevent your teammate who's by the Grabbit from respawning fast enough. Like, it'll have this weird glitch where the person who needs to respawn back to first event from Grabbit, they get stuck in like this animation glitch where they can't join you guys for almost 60 seconds. So it wastes a lot of time. Okay, and then first event, it's the same thing as any other run. I'm sure any of you watching this have done it a million times, but just come up here, kill everything, turn in 8 echoes, Up to 5 of them can spawn up top. Sometimes there's as little as 3. And just kill everything as fast as you can in first event. All right, everything's about speed. We want to get to third event as fast as we possibly can. Okay, if you just noticed, the first mini-boss was killed, which actually spawns down low. That is from the red orb. So there was a total of 5 that we had to get. 2 of them were on the left side in terms of the perspective of the event. If you were down low coming in from the spawn, that's the left side. There's 2 over there. And then there was 2 that I had grabbed in advance out here hovering where we were doing the farm. And then that last one was the one that I grabbed right next to the second gold off to my left or to the right of spawn perspective. Okay, so first event's done. I skipped the red box that's on the way to second event. You'll come back for that later when you get orb trails. And then same thing as first event. You want to kill everything as fast as you possibly can. We're going to spawn the mini-boss by placing 1 echo into 3 rings. There's 1 back here in this back left waterfall. There's 1 on the back right next to the turrets. And then there's 1 up top above the relic. Once you put those 3 echoes in, the mini-boss will spawn. You can kill him immediately, continue killing everything in the event, and then grab all the echoes, including the ones that you put in the rings, turn them into the relic so that you can get 8 out of 8, which will spawn the gatekeeper so you can proceed with the event. Okay, so we turned in 8 out of 8. That spawns the gatekeeper. Instantly kill the gatekeeper as fast as you can. He's going to drop a key. Pick up the key. There'll be 4 echoes now, 2 on each side that you need to pick up and turn in so that you can close the event. And everything in this room needs to be killed except for the 4 turrets. You can leave those until after you finish the room for the extra 50 points per multiplier, getting you a little bit extra score. Okay, if you see, COS and TMC are off to my right. They're no longer even in second event. And I'm going to demonstrate why and what that's for here in a minute. Just so you know, COS has gone to third event in advance because that's where we need to get to as quickly as we can so we can start the farm. And TMC has gone also towards the right, down towards the legendary enforcer, which we used to farm, and nowadays is hit or miss as to whether or not it's worth doing. So from here, in my case, I'm respawning from second event, and I will go back to what the Colossus or the Rangers who are not farming the Enforcer need to do after second event. But this is just to demonstrate, if you choose to farm the Legendary Enforcer, what you need to do. So, of course, full combo Ranger is the safest way and fastest way to do this. Come down here, there'll be 2 ads. Kill both of the original ads that spawned, then immediately start killing the Enforcer. You don't want to kill this other ad that's next to him, or the Enforcer won't spawn again. So after you kill the Enforcer, come back towards second event, and you just bounce back and forth over and over again until the global timer runs out. Come back towards this area, and if you notice, we'll see the ads again. Kill the 2 original spawning ads. And there's the Enforcer again. So as long as you don't kill that last ad that spawns at the same time as the Enforcer, you can continue to farm the Enforcer as long as you want until the global timer runs out. For limited runs, it's better generally to skip farming the Enforcer, as now it's been found that it's better to have the entire team, all 4 players, regardless of which suits they're in the platform room farming the Scorpions because they're worth more points. Okay, so in the meantime, going back to my perspective, right, I respawned. This will pull me to the door. And the rest of the team, except for the person who was farming the Enforcer, is going to start third event as fast as they can. Okay, so coming through here, you got to be a little careful because sometimes there's two different spots that these red crates can spawn. Kind of just saw it on the left side of the screen. You want to skip that. Same thing with first orb trail. Same thing with any of the red boxes. You want to skip everything until we're done with the farms. That way you're at the highest multiplier you can be at to get more score. Okay, so I'm just flying through the tunnels. I'm clearing any remaining ads that I can as fast as I can. And then once Koss gets through the door, you'll see that the search tunnels objective was completed. And I'm going to respawn. It's going to take me straight to the door into third event. Okay, so we go straight down into third event. Once you get in here, come underneath the platform, you can activate the puzzle. And then if you notice, it's going to give you a little order. In our case, it's left, middle, and you only need to see the first two, as the third one is going to be apparent after looking at the first two. So left, middle, right. I came into left tunnel, I stepped on it, I let my teammates know. Then my teammates are just going to step on the middle plate and then the right plate, and that's going to spawn third mini boss. Okay, so as you can see, the mini boss is spawned, and then it's as simple as turning in 5 out of the 6 fragments as quickly as you can and clearing all of the scars as quickly as you can. Before you turn in the last fragment, the 6th one, you want to make sure that you've killed all the scars, because if you turn in all 6, the scar will despawn and you'll lose a bunch of score. Okay, and remember as well that if you have a teammate who's farming the Legendary Enforcer at second event, they should still be over there doing that this entire time. So you can see that if you look on the top left of the screen, you can see that TMC is still far, far away, and that's because he's out there farming the Enforcer. Okay, so as you can see, we're killing the last of the scars. Everything's dead. My teammate's going to turn in the last fragment, and then we're going to begin the second farm, which is the Scorpion farm. This is the farm that you would do for limited runs and high score runs. Okay, so you turn in the last one. That activates the platform room. Now I'm going to show you how to go back for trails. So you have one person farming the Enforcer, one person going for trails, and 2 remain in third event to farm scorpions. So same thing as earlier, you come through this hole. We're going towards the end, down towards where the Grabbit's at. Okay, and in this case, TMC shows a different perspective. You can go east instead of turning to the right and jumping off the edge. Okay, so there's 3 boxes and the orb trail that he needs to get. Always come backwards first. In this case, his first one was up close, right behind the bridge. Second one is almost always down here. And then in this particular run, we got unlucky, and the third box was all the way down by the boss. But you can pick up this trail. Same thing as Sunken Cell and every other seasonal. The first one is blue, then after you get that one, the next one that is green will turn blue, and so on and so on and so on, until you get to the last one, which will turn purple for extra score. Okay, and just check all along this route. There's at least 8 or 9 different spots that these red boxes can spawn in. And you can kind of tell where he's kind of looking around, looking for them to see if he can find the red crates. But once he gets down towards the water, he knows for sure it's all the way at the end. Right, and once he gets this, he's going to respawn. This is going to take him back to before third event door. And he's going to turn around to get 3 more boxes and underwater trail, which is second trail. Okay, and this entire time, we've got 2 people in platform room, and 1 person is farming the legendary enforcer. Again, it's up to you whether you want to have someone farm the enforcer. If you don't want to do that, then the other 3 teammates should all be in the platform room farming. Okay, so coming up, he looked down at the waterfall because there's a spot where one of the red crates can spawn at. Then he's going to come up top into this tunnel. There's always a red crate up here. There's 3 or 4 different spots up here that it can spawn at, but just check. Okay, and then he's looking for the last one, which can be down here, and in his case, that is where it is. So from here, going to show a little, it's a little tricky to get through this jump, but come back up top above the puzzle, look up and to the right, melee dash through this hole. You can see it's a failed attempt on that one. There's a little hole up here, you can melee dash through it. Then he's going to face north, come up over the top, turn northeast over the rock. There's going to be some wind. That's okay. Just continue forward. And then straight down. Same thing as I showed earlier. We're going to second event from here. So you'll see the bright white light on this kind of platform or whatever come down to the corner. And it'll take you to second event. See, it looks the exact same as if you were doing prep earlier. Okay, and this was the jump to get back for first trail and the 3 boxes that are over here. In this case, since Koss is farming the legendary enforcer, he went down, so Team C is going to come over, revive him. And there's also 1 red crate that can spawn over here by the legendary enforcer. This is that red crate that I was talking about earlier. Whenever I flew past from first event coming into second event, you want to skip that one. There's a couple different spots for each of these red crates. Just look in the general area where that one was at. It could be a little bit lower. It could be up on that ledge. And then, of course, first orb trail, same concept. Now that he's finishing the first orb trail, which is the last one that we need, he just needs 1 more red crate, which can be along the path of the orb trail underneath it. In this case, it's closest to the door. If you can't find this one, go back towards the beginning of the orb trail and look up and down the orb trail to try and find it. Just respawn, come down into third event through the door, and begin farming until global timer runs out. Also, if you notice, the bonus timer just ran out on this clip, which is perfectly fine. That's part of the loss of the farm, is that you have to accept the fact that you're going to lose this bonus timer. because all that matters is that you sit here and farm for the longest amount of time that you can, which in this case there's still 14.5 minutes on global timer, so we're going to use all of that up if we can. The fragment was just turned in, and I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of what this farm looks like from the perspective of a Colossus. You should always have at least one. If you're doing a limited run, you can run 2, you can run 3. But for the unlimited run, you should always have at least one. Okay, so generally just good practice with Colossus. It's mostly melee and shield canceling, but they'll take Dome, Earthshaker, that easy. Okay, and you didn't necessarily see it because I kind of skipped forward a little bit, but 2 or 3 teammates were in here farming the Scorpions that entire time for 19 minutes or so. You farm as fast as you can until the global timer goes down closer to 0. You silence the relic, which takes 3 minutes. So one person stood on the platform when the global timer reached around 3.5 minutes. He just stands up there to close it. I jumped forward, they closed the event, and you're done with the farm. Okay, so one last thing. If you close third event, and for some reason you need to go backwards to first trail or second trail, underwater orb trail, you can jump through the same holes earlier, fly straight west, and look where you're at. You're right next to the third door. You can just come down into the water, and you can get the underwater orb trail through here if you need to. If you're doing crystal runs, this is a good method to get back. And if you're doing unlimited runs, generally, you should have already gotten orb trails, so you wouldn't even need to make this jump. But this is just to show, in case you're doing crystal runs or a limited run or something and you need to get back, you can come back through here and get all the way back to get any orb trails or boxes that you missed. Okay, so again, using the other run, which was a 3-hour run or an unlimited attempt, this orb trail would have already been completed. But in this case, for this particular run, you can see we're at 15x, which is a completely different multiplier, and our global timer is much higher. So in this case, for a crystal run, I decided to come back for the orb trail afterwards and just respawn, which takes me back to the chest. Okay, then going back to the original perspective, which was the farming run, you can see the Grabbit was already killed. We completed third event. There's no boxes along this route. There's going to be no orb trail along this route. Everything has been completed. So all we have to do is have our teammate who was farming the Legendary Enforcer respawn. That way he can join up with the rest of the team, kill all the Scorpions that are on this path towards the boss, and then kill the boss as fast as you can. And that's it for the entire run. Hey, a little trick that you can do here at the boss, especially if you're in a Colossus or an Interceptor, you can have them come towards this tunnel, which is down to the left once you come into the boss room, and just have them sit down here. That way the boss only focuses on them, so that your Rangers on your squad can easily get a weak point hit with their ultimates to kill the boss faster. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Tyrant Mine's one of the easiest ones to do. Thanks for watching.